Deadpool ushered in a new era of fourth wall breaking and a style of filmmaking in which you poke fun at the genre which you come from. Today we'll be looking, 5 years later, whether Deadpool actually holds up. I'm Tommy Bowyer from Movie Rewind, and without further ado, let's get into it. Deadpool was released in 2016. It was directed by Tim Miller and stars Ryan Reynolds in the title role. And going in to see Deadpool, I was a little nervous because, of course, in X-Men Origins Wolverine, Deadpool was a complete flop. He was nothing like the character he is in the comics, so of course this film had a lot riding on it. From the trailers, it looked like that they were going to pull this off. Of course, as we all know, sometimes trailers are better than the actual film, so I was still nervous going in to see this film. However, once I came out and reflected on it, I really enjoy Deadpool. It's a fun action adventure film and of course is the perfect satire of comic book films. With its fourth wall breaking aspects, it pokes fun at a lot of the cliches and a lot of the tropes which exist in comic book films. And considering this film came out at probably the height, the golden age of comic book films, then it just makes it stand out and make it unique. Today I'll be looking at some of the aspects of this film, whether it holds up and what makes it stand out. The character development in this film is pretty good. I would say Deadpool's motives are very understandable. He's dying from cancer, so he signs up to these experiments in order to prolong his life, and then after everything goes wrong, he wants revenge on the scientist who made him the way he is. Quite a simple plot, and I think it makes sense. You do feel sorry for Deadpool. You want to see him back to the way he was, so you're invested in his journey to try and track down this scientist. The romance between Deadpool and his girlfriend Vanessa is pretty good. They have strong chemistry, so it works. It's not exactly the most complex relationship in the world. It's pretty simplistic relationship, but it does work. The villain is pretty weak, I would say. As Deadpool is an anti-hero, I think it's quite hard to have a memorable villain who sticks out. And this scientist is all right, although for me personally, I don't even really remember his name. He's quite a forgettable villain. He's just an obstacle, basically. He's not really a very memorable villain. So I would give character development an 8 out of 10 because I enjoy the romance. Deadpool's motives are understandable. I think it's just the villain which stops this getting the top spot. Ryan Reynolds kills it in the main role, and he is the standout performance. This guy was born to play this role, and it really does highlight how badly they handled his character in X-Men Origins Wolverine. I'm just saying that. He's very, very funny. There are emotional moments as well, and he suits them, although I would say probably 99% of the time he's used for comedic purposes, and it works well. He's just fantastic in the role. Born to play that role. I couldn't see any other actor really playing Deadpool other than Reynolds, because he's just a natural fit to it. All the other supported actors are also strong, very well cast to their roles, give good performances. Couldn't really pick out any bad performances out of the rest. Couldn't really pick out any standout performances though, other than Reynolds. So I'm going to give the performances a 9 out of 10 because Reynolds is a very standout performance. All of the other actors are doing all right jobs. There's just no real other standouts apart from Reynolds. The effects. This is going to be quick and easy because there are no bad effects. They all still hold up well. You'd expect them to hold up well if it was released only 5 years ago. All the CGI is really well done. You can't really tell what's practical and what's CGI, which is a good thing. That's what CGI effects are supposed to do. The best fight scene in this film, I would say, is the opening car scene. Especially the opening credits are amazing. Very, very funny. Very well directed with good effects. So that really works well. And I just enjoy the car thing. I think it works really well. It keeps you invested in the film. So I haven't got any problem with the effects. All the action scenes are good and they're very strong. So I would give the effects a 10 out of 10 because no problems whatsoever. In terms of the story and writing, well, at face value, Deadpool is just a very traditional, stereotypical comic book film. And they even admit that. They acknowledge that it's just a basic origin story where the character gets superpowers and then wants revenge, and then his girlfriend is taken hostage, so he has to save her. And that's basically what the plot of this film is. The reason it works is because, as I said, they acknowledge that it's just a very stereotypical plot, and they poke fun at so many comic book cliches and a lot of cliches found in the X-Men films. So that is why it works. I don't think anyone goes into this film expecting a very strong, compelling story with lots of emotion and complex narrative. No, we don't really want that. What people go in to see Deadpool for is to have a laugh, to see loads of references. There's so many references in this film that you really have to keep on the film. You have to keep invested in it in order to pick out all the references so you don't miss any, and that's good. If a film can keep you invested, then that's a really good thing. So in terms of the story and writing, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 because it is quite stereotypical. However, it's because they poke fun at it, and the fact that there's so many references in this film, that is why it stands out. That's what makes it unique, and that is why it works. So for this film, special recognition, we've got to talk about what makes it unique, the fourth wall breaking. Now, of course, fourth wall breaking has been done before. No one's denying that, but Deadpool does take it to another level, and it works. In the comics, Deadpool fourth wall breaks all the time. So it makes sense when you're making a film about him that he does exactly that. And it works. There's so many hilarious moments when Deadpool acknowledges some of the tropes which are happening or some of the situations he's in. And it's just funny. I would say that Deadpool is a comedy because it basically is. Because the fourth wall breaking aspect is really unique and it works. And let's face it, loads of films are now trying to do the fourth wall breaking, and some of them haven't done it as well. Just look at Birds of Prey, for example. They really tried to do fourth wall breaking and it didn't work, because I think with Deadpool, not only is the script well written and the fourth wall breaking is quite unique and quite surprising, it's Reynolds' performance which makes it work, because he has charisma, he has an ability to make audiences laugh, and that is why it works. So I'm going to give this special recognition a 9 out of 10 because the fourth wall breaking is very unique and it makes the film stand out. Deadpool is a very unique comic book film. What makes it what it is Ryan Reynolds' performance as the main character. He kills it in that role. No one else could play Deadpool as well as he could, and the fourth wall breaking and comedic moments keeps you laughing. This is a great comic book film. It's actually one of the funniest films I have ever seen, and it gets a well-deserved 44 out of 50, which gives it a grade 2 ranking. Honestly, looking back, I really enjoy this film. It is unique. It is very unique, and it's Reynolds' performance which raises it. So thanks for watching, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed my Deadpool movie review. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe in order to receive great and maybe even improved quality content in the future. And of course, now that I have reviewed Deadpool, the next X-Men film on my list is X-Men Apocalypse. So that's a very interesting film. It's the third film in a trilogy, and of course, X-Men films don't have the strongest record when it comes to the third film of a trilogy. So we'll have to wait and see what I think of that film. And of course, this means that I'm near the end of my X-Men franchise reviews. I started this out in January and we're near the end already. I can't honestly believe that. Time is just flying by, and I've really loved enjoying these films. I hope you've loved watching these reviews and I hope you've enjoyed them, and I will see you in another one. See ya!